Welcome to Abundant Living Everyday Legacy Series. My name is Reverend Alma Dunbar Savoy, and I'm the host and creator of Abundant Living Everyday Legacy Series, where we share the amazing stories, powerful, inspiring stories of everyday people who have faced some of life's greatest challenges and come out stronger through faith and perseverance and determination. So today we have an extraordinary guest whose journey is nothing short of remarkable, and I know that you're going to be excited to hear this story. Her journey is a powerful example of what abundant living every day is all about. Overcoming adversity through faith in God and perseverance. So join us. Thank you for sharing with us today as we share her incredible testimony, her story of courage, of love, and unshakable power in God in her life. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself to us. And when you introduce yourself, tell us your name, introduce yourself, and just share a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and what was your life like as you grew up.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank you. My name is Judy Stewart, and I am married to Spencer Stewart.
Okay.
And I was born in New York. My mother's job moved here when I was 5, and then we moved here, and I've been here ever since. In DC and Maryland. I have 2 daughters. One is 33, and the second one is 22. They're grown and gone. And the fourth of 4 girls. I'm, I'm the youngest, and my older sister's Avery Burson, whom you know. And just has been good. It has.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about your having a stroke. But what was your life like before you had the stroke?
Before I had the stroke, I was working.
Mm-hmm.
I worked all the way out Dulles Toll Road, lived in Maryland, Capitol Heights, in a house. Was married to my first husband, trying to raise 2 girls.
So what was your routine? Your daily routine was,
Got up
going to
at
work and
5 in the morning, got myself together, dropped my youngest off because about in the oldest one was in college, and
mm-hmm.
just for that long drive,
Yeah.
long time drive. Um, I was it was kind of rough at times because those hours of having to be on the road and everything. It took me an hour to get there. It took me an hour to get home. Well, actually,
Okay.
4 hours, but
Okay.
it was challenging. But I had to do it. So,
Okay. So what were your biggest challenges during that time?
just tired of being on the road, traveling.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
All right.
at this point in time, my mother, she got Alzheimer's, and just dealing with her was task. But it was my mom, so I did what I had to do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
challenging. God is good. He saw me through, and I prayed to him all the time, and he got me.
Okay. 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 So now, can you take us back to the day when you had the stroke? What happened? Uh, what was when you realized what was going on? What was going through your mind?
Well, I didn't realize what was going on.
Okay.
Vince and I were at his apartment, and I had to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't get up.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I said, "What you mean? Can't get?" I said, "My legs won't move. I can't get up." And so he helped me get up to go to the bathroom, and then he called my sister
Mm-hmm.
to tell her what was going on, and they were talking in code on the phone. But I
Mm-hmm.
was able to piece it together. She said, "Let me speak to her," and then she got down the phone. She asked me a couple of questions. I answered her, but what she was doing was checking my speech.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Mm-hmm.
She gave him, and when he got the phone back from me, he told my sister told him he said her speech is slurred. And he said, I know. He was trying. He's so he was
Mm-hmm.
talking, go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
okay, so he said, I'm going to take her to the hospital. So she said, oh,
Mm-hmm.
and so he went and got a wheelchair, took me to the hospital, put me in a car, and drove me to the Washington Hospital Center. And all of a sudden, I could hear the nurses crowding around me outside because they was trying to get me out the car. And they asked him, what time he had a stroke, and what time was it, and this, that, and that, third. So he told her what time, and the next thing I know, I was out. So
Mm-hmm.
if they had put me out or whether I just went out, I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
the next thing I know, I was in the hospital, and because I was out for like 48 hours or something, and they told my sister that the first 48 hours would let them know whether or not they had to go in my brain because I was hemorrhaging in my brain.
Okay. Okay. So
Hemorrhagic.
when Oh, okay. So when you woke up, what was your biggest fear?
Just what happened and why am I like this? And I felt like 'cause I don't remember them ever telling me, and I'm sure they did, but I didn't remember them telling me that I had a stroke. So I
Okay.
was trying to get up out the bed because I was ready to go home.
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't, my legs weren't working. I kept falling, and
Okay.
that was scary.
Okay.
And I remember a doctor coming in and trying to work with me to see if I stood up, how whether or not I could walk, or what was going on with me and everything. They were very helpful. They really tried to work with me and everything. I was good. I didn't have any bad time there. It was very scary.
Okay. Could you walk at that time?
No.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that stroke, it was a hemorrhagic stroke. It was like it is the worst stroke to have. And I had to learn how to walk, talk, and eat again.
Mm.
So it was pretty bad.
Okay. What kept you motivated during those early days and those days when you couldn't, you couldn't walk, you couldn't feed yourself? Uh, what kept you going?
Well, I wasn't so nice at first. Uh, I had to, he said, "Baby, they talking about putting you in the home, so I need you to behave." He said, "You don't want to." And he kind of scared me because the way he spoke to me. He has never spoken to me like that. So I was like, "Okay, but business." And my sister was trying. He was helping me because my sister was at her wit's end, and she was taking care of Jada, getting her to school and from school. So it was a lot on her. And
Okay.
so eventually, I tried to, get my act together, but it took a lot. It was scary. It was
Okay.
very frightening.
Okay. How did you manage emotionally and spiritually? Well, let me back up and ask you another question before we even get to that. What role did your faith play in at this time in your healing and what you're looking at the condition you're in? What role did your faith play in that?
Me just praying and tell God didn't bring me this far to leave me. You just hold on, and it's gonna be okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let me ask you, how did you manage emotionally at this time and even spiritually during these times? Uh,
I don't recall ever feeling like woe is me. My
mm-hmm.
where I was like, why not me? We haven't said
Okay,
anybody. Um, just trying to keep in mind that I had children and they were with
okay,
me, and just trying to do what I needed to do to get better.
okay, okay.
And they hooked me up to this thing up in the ceiling where I had me kind of like a puppet with the
Kind
string.
of harness kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
on there
Mm-hmm.
doing all kinds of stuff. Like 5 or 6 different doctors would come and see me at the same time. It would be a meeting of them, and they would be looking at me doing stuff. It was deep. It really was
Okay, okay,
trying to help me, so I didn't have an attitude. And
okay.
got myself together, and I was okay. Whatever it took to get me better.
Okay, okay. Okay, now, what were some of the small victories at this time? Some of the,
Um,
things you could
me being
really say that,
able to fork myself.
oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
me being able. I didn't like the pureed food. That was horrible. And to go into a group, we ate together because we all always had problems eating. So we sat
Okay,
at a table and they graded on how we were eating and all. But I didn't like the pureed food, so that wasn't real good for me. I said,
okay,
real food. You
okay, okay,
got to be able to make sure you can swallow. First, I said, okay,
okay,
I don't like
okay,
this.
okay, okay,
It was all a task of trying to get myself together and try to just do what they want me to do so I can get out of it. Because my cousin worked at a place that was similar to the rehab place that I was.
okay.
Told me, she said that if you don't eat, you ain't getting out of here. So she said you, but you're not going. So with that, I said okay, I'm gonna just eat a little bit of this stuff. So yeah,
Okay, all right.
expensive.
Okay, so you mentioned Spencer, and so at that time you guys were not married. You are now married,
Yeah,
but at that time, what? So, and it sounds like Spencer was right there with you.
but
What did his support mean to you
it,
in this
it,
journey at this
it
time?
everything to me. He was really good with being in, helping me and helping my sister. Because sometimes he would pick Jada from school. So
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
really was a great help to both of us. All of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I told him, I said, I know this is too much for you because it's too much for me. I'm not ready for this. So if you want to go, you can go ahead and go. I understand. No hard feelings. He said, "God didn't raise me to be that kind of person. I'm in it for better, for worse." I said, "But we're not married." He said, "Not yet." So, hi. So I mean, one day him and my sister come to see me, and he told my sister, "I'm gonna marry that girl."
Oh.
So she was, uh-huh. And what he did, he did ask me when I was in rehab hospital. He asked me, we were watching the Tyler Perry movie, and at the end of it, they got married. And
Mhm.
he said, "That's what I want to do." I said, "What you want to do?" He said, "Get married." I said, "Oh." So I said, oh, "Okay."
Well, that sounds really romantic.
He was always there for me. I don't think that had I been with anybody else,
Mhm.
that it would have been.
Mhm.
So I do thank him. I'm grateful to him forever for that
Mhm.
because he was my rock at that time. He really was,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
even now, he's still my rock.
Right. Right. How so thinking about your experience and just even looking at your outlook on life, how did that experience shape your positive outlook on life?
Just that my whole feeling was he didn't take me, so I still got a chance
Okay, okay.
here. So I'm gonna be grateful that I'm still here and move from that point. I'm not gonna hit the wall with me and wallow in what has happened to me. Make the best of it, and that's
Mm-hmm.
looked at it.
Okay, okay. So you're active in church, you still come to church, your community, despite your challenges of the physical challenges that you still have. What gives you the strength to keep going?
Just that I'm not gonna let this beat me.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
because it's people that have had worse happen to them and they're still here, and that you know my family loves me. God of all loves me because I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I owe them to keep trying.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So what would you say to someone who's facing a life-changing illness or disability and feels like giving up? What would you say to them?
turn to God.
Okay.
Turn to God. Talk to Him
Mm-hmm.
and your loved one, and it's hang in there because it's gonna definitely get better before it gets worse. So just
Okay.
just hang in it and keep your head right and
Okay.
in a
Okay.
solid place.
Right. Right. Are there particular Bible verses or faith principle? I know you mentioned earlier about God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Are there other principles that have carried you through all of this?
I had a cousin tell me a long time ago. He said, whenever whenever you're down and in trouble, turn to Psalms 23,
Wow.
and
Okay.
has always been my favorite verse in the Bible. Whenever something's going on, turn to Psalm 23.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. Many, that's a favorite of so many as well. If you could go back and talk to your younger self before you had the stroke,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give her?
Eat healthier, be
Okay,
better, don't stress out,
okay, okay,
little things, and take my medicine.
okay, okay. All right, all right. How critical or I know you mentioned stress.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it for us, for people not to stress out over, these daily challenges, these little things that happen to us, these things that happen to us?
Pray on it and give it to God and let it go.
Mm. Okay,
Just let
okay.
it go. Because the way the world right now that we're in, we don't know what's going on, but God got us.
Right, absolutely,
Just
yes.
remember that and stay prayed up and healthy.
Okay, okay. How can, as you share your story about what God has done in your life,
Mm-hmm.
how can others, um, first of all, how can they encourage people, or how can other people support you? First of all, I want to ask,
Um,
are are people recovering from, from a stroke or other major life challenges?
just it helps if you have somebody that you can talk to,
Okay,
um,
okay,
confide in, and share your sometimes worst fears, your and all of that. Um,
okay.
it helps to have somebody to talk to, and just believe in God. Because when I first came home, I asked people, I said, "Why you don't take me to church with you?" They
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
kind of forced nobody. I said, "But it wouldn't be a force. I want to go to church."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
I was. I really felt like after I had gone through that I needed to get to God. I really did to thank Him for pulling me through.
Right, right, absolutely. How important is it for uh, all of us, or for people to have God in their life? You think?
It is definitely a imperative. Because without Him, we wouldn't make it. If without Him, we would not make it. With, I pray all the time. I pray for my children. I pray
Mm.
for my sister. Um, I remember when she got sick and was in the hospital. I prayed so much that I know people thought I was crazy. 'Cause I was in there praying and had my hand up and was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not doing well. Just go to your
Right.
go to your beliefs and your spiritual beliefs, and you'll be fine. Just
Okay.
talk to God.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
the word
All
share.
right.
Talk to God and let Him guide you.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
as open as you want to be. No judgment. Just share it with God, and He will definitely guide you on what to do.
Okay, that sounds like a good kind of wrap up message right there. Anything else you want to add to it? Those that are watching you and watching your story, anything you want to add to that? We Abundant Living is all about living your best life, and all of us don't have the best conditions at the time, but God still expects us and wants us to live our best life, abundant living every day. So, any final messages for uh, living? What does abundant living every day? What does that mean to you?
Just doing your best, living,
Okay.
um, being kind to people, just trying to be the best that you can be.
Okay. Okay. What legacy do you hope to leave for others?
Um, just to know that I love all the people that I'm surrounded by.
Okay.
Want the best for everybody,
Okay.
and just strive to do better.
Okay. All right. What's the most important thing that people should know about you?
I have a big heart, and
Okay.
um, sometimes I'm a crybaby. I can watch somebody and cry, and then I'll cry. So it's easy to get into my heart. It really is.
Okay. Okay. All right. What impact do you think telling your story will have on people?
I hope it helps somebody.
Okay. Okay.
It's a very scary place that I was in. Um, at one point in time, my sister told me that I actually threatened that I was gonna kill myself. I think it was the medicine talking because I'm never gonna hurt myself.
Right. Right.
But it's just, just love on people and let people love you. And
Okay.
I just told me, he said, just let people love you, baby. He said it's gonna be you don't have to go all the time. Right. He was talking about
Mhm.
Smith. Just let the man love you. But being the youngest and the caretaker of my older sister and my mother, between me and my older sister came from my mother and her,
Mhm.
just jumping in and doing. So
Mhm.
I didn't sit back and wait for somebody to wait on me. I was used to doing the waiting on them. So this was hard for me, to give up that control, realize, okay, it ain't gotta be about what I want. This they gonna make sure that I'm okay. Just go with it and just be nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay. I think giving up one's independence is
yeah,
something that is such a big
issue.
issue with people. And what advice would you have? Any other advice for, someone like I said that might find themselves they've had to give up things that they were able to do on their own, and maybe they're dependent on someone else at this time to do the basic kind of things for them. What would you share with them?
Um, I was lucky to have a Spencer and a sister like mine, but
Okay.
that just do the best that you can and dig within yourself and know that you're gonna be okay. This is
Okay.
scary, hurtful because you're giving up so much, but you
Right.
got nothing you can't get back. I don't walk the same as I used to, but I walk.
Okay. Okay.
I,
Okay.
my right side of my face and my right side of my body is not what it used to be
Okay.
because those were my challenges. But I just do what I can.
Okay. Okay.
Therapy said, he said, what used to be so easy for you to do, move your leg. It takes more to do that now. He said, so where somebody can do it like that, you can
Yeah.
do it like that. So he said, just take your time and be grateful for whatever it is you're able to do. He said, because
Uh,
did not have anything. He said, so it's a plus to this. He said, even though it doesn't seem like it now, there is a plus to what you're doing.
right. Right.
Positive
Absolutely.
in your life makes a difference.
Right. Right.
If I didn't
Right.
have all the people that I have, I'm sure I wouldn't have the same story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's different, but I've been blessed. I really have.
Mm-hmm.
Very grateful for all of my loved ones and thanking God every day.
All right. Okay.
It's a
Okay.
thank God, you know, this way.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, everyone, and there, I mean, that's it. That's what abundant living everyday legacy is all about. And so, as we round the corner and wrap this up, anything else you would like to say about what you would like your legacy to be?
Just that I want my kids to know that I love them,
Okay.
and and I will always love them. Same thing for my family, my sisters, my husband, and just you in the church. Just love y'all. I'm grateful for everything that you all do.
All right.
Um,
All right. Well, everyone, there you have it. The amazing, powerful story of Judy Richardson Stewart,
mhm.
sharing her story of abundant living every day on Abundant Living Everyday Legacy Series. Judy, we want to thank you for allowing me to share your story on the Abundant Living Everyday Legacy Series, where we're sharing stories of ordinary men and women whom God has done some extraordinary things in our lives. And we're telling our stories on Abundant Living Everyday Legacy. So I want to thank you, everyone, for watching this powerful story of faith and perseverance. And if this story inspired you, please take a moment as you watch this video, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because that's the support we need that helps us to share more incredible life stories that encourage and uplift everyone. Hit the notification bell there on the channel so you don't miss our next story. Share this one with someone who needs encouragement. Like us and subscribe, as I said. And remember that as the curtain falls on today's story, and until the next fascinating, incredible legacy story, remember there's a story waiting, and each and every one of us just waiting to be shared. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you.